Oneness family, this is Shophar from Full Show Energy Work and Full Show Health, and I'm here to speak to you today about the spiritual purpose of relationships. I'm going to be going over a video. Shout out to my sister Danielle McKinney for putting me on, to Zoe Williams and Seven Bomar, conversation by the same name, and definitely was inspiring. I want to go over some of the things that they said. I'll put the link down below to their video where you can watch their full thing. I highly recommend it. And so I want to start this off with a quote from Master Yao, is that Tantra or Tantra is the perfection of relating. So one of the profound things that Brother Zoe Williams said is when it comes to choosing, as far as like relationships, is it our conditioning that is doing the choosing? Any of you familiar with Master Yao's works and books and everything? He talks about the CP, the counterfeit personality. I like to go into, in my book, I talk about false BS, false belief systems, elaborating a little bit on those things, but that counterfeit personality, that part of our being that through nurture or nature has now coalesced and become a part, what some might call the ego, what I call the ego, that part of us that is edging goodness out of our life. And if we are not doing the hard work, then it could become evil going on. If that part of our being is conditioned, and our truest nature is to be unconditioned. And so one of the spiritual purposes of relationships is to help us become unconditioned again. So one of the purposes of relationship then is to help us to evolve and to work through some of the misunderstandings, some of the things that have not felt like love, that has twisted us either through nurture or nature to have certain conditionings on our peace, conditionings on our pleasure, conditionings on our love. In other words, ways that we have contracted, ways that we have caused tension. That is why orgasm and different, allies like plant medicine and meditation, yoga, qigong, all of these different tools can be very powerful, especially when used in the container, the womb space of a relating or a relationship. Because when you have two beings who are using their powerful intention and imagination to raise the vibration of themselves and each other, it is through the raising of the vibration or raising of the energy that you raise consciousness. That is why I call it a sensual emotional exchange. By coming together sensually and emotionally, we can change the X factor, which is our consciousness, with the breath. So that is one of the spiritual purposes of a relationship, is to help get us out of those conditionings so that we are choosing from a better place. And like the brother spoke about in that video too, is that what some might call karma, what we have set in motion, either through epigenetics of our ancestors, or if you believe in past lives, those things that we have set in motion that may be affecting us now may be part of those conditionings, right? So that is one powerful aspect of a spiritual relationship, is that it can actually help us to change these ripples and waves that we have sent out through time and space. And some of those karmic conditionings are, being addicted, like one of the brothers said, being addicted to just stimulation and needing stimulation of some sorts all the time. And of course, that has even gotten worse now in the current age that we're in. And there's just more things wrapping up with all of the things that society is throwing at us right now, and that we are throwing at each other and ourselves. That all impacts our relationship. And that is one of the other spiritual purposes of relationship, is to be able to filter through these things together, to be able to filter through some of these, have a video, distractions and distortions that are coming to our consciousness, that wants to come into the home, that wants to come into the tribe, that wants to come into your business, and into your body, into your health. We've got to use our relationships as one of those barriers to sift through what is the real, and what is it that we need to have in our life, and what things we need to turn away from. And so that is one of the other spiritual purposes of relationship, is that it can also help us to clarify. It can also help us to get rid of these things that do not serve us. Another spiritual purpose of relationships is to become an observer, or they talk about in the video of observer. And they talk about the path of the student, the master, and then becoming an observer. And I believe that was the brother of 7 who spoke on that. And what we want to be able to do is realize that, okay, at the first level, the student, many of us go into relationships just at a student level. And what we want to actually have done, ideally, is to have done the self-work that we can go into a relating with a certain level of mastery, and then also be willing to be a student with our partner. This is one of the spiritual purposes of our relating. In other words, to have this mirroring effect with each other so that we can hone each other. To take it one more level higher, though, is when we go higher on the tree of life, right? And we become an observer. In other words, we go a level even higher than the heart, and we observe the whole playing field of the relationship. And so in English, we spell it observer. Notice how the word observer has serve in it. The way I spell it, or respell it, is ab, A-B, which is the ab is the heart in ancient Egypt. To be an observer, to serve the heart. In order to serve the heart, though, we have to even get higher than it to see the lay of the land, and to see the connection with ourselves, and then with our partner. And then from that, you get the lay of the land and everything. So it is bringing our consciousness to a higher level by raising the energy. And we don't just want to raise the energy, though, because you can raise the energy and cause yourself more challenges. You have to be raising the energy while we simultaneously are actually alchemizing, or processing the old things that did not feel like love, all of the things, all of the misunderstandings, the mistakes or mistakes that we have made, and transmute those motherfuckers so that we can now have a better and balanced and more optimized life. That is one of the spiritual purposes of relationships. And the last point I want to go over that they said is about uniqueness. And relationships are the perfect place to help hone your uniqueness, to find your own voice, to first you got to get comfortable in your own skin with yourself, and then you have the perfect what is it, I guess, fertile soil to be yourself with someone. I mean, literally, this is someone that you get naked with. You know, most of us don't walk around naked all the time. You know what I'm saying? So this is someone that you bear your soul with, right? So this, in other words, a spiritual purpose of relationship is to have this fertile ground to work on your own uniqueness, on bearing your soul and getting and honing who you are. And this is why, you know, Master Yao said that Tantra is the perfection of relating. It's because being able to have someone that you can perfect yourself, not be perfect, but be in the process of perfecting, that is a spiritual technology. And so, you know, in relationships, like many things on this planet, on this plane, it has been misused and very much misunderstood. We think that just putting a ring on someone's finger, or sticking our dick in someone and calling them our girlfriend, boyfriend, and you know, that this is now a relationship. We may not be doing any of these different things that I spoke about. We're just watching Netflix and chill, and you know, we go to Thanksgiving dinner, and we do all of these different things together. But when it comes to actually doing the processing and the raising of vibration of ourself in order to come and step into our uniqueness more. And our uniqueness is tied into our consciousness. Many of us are not doing that. And that is one of the spiritual purposes of relationship. And so with that, y'all, I just wanted to go over those few things again. The link to their videos down below. And if you want to go deeper into these different things, I definitely highly suggest my Patreon. And I have again, I'm Shophar from Fo Show Energy Work and Fo Show Health. And my lady and me, we do couples work and then also singles. She works with the ladies or the feminine. I work with the masculine or men. And you can be non-binary as well. And then I have a book, Soul Sacred Orgasmic Living, and do a series of webinars. One is called S.E.X to S.E.X, Sensual Emotional Exchange. If you're interested in learning more about this and how to move away from just genital-based sex, check the links down below. We're always updating and having another date that we do those webinars. And again, thank you all for coming out, man. I hope that this helps. I hope that you, if you're in a relationship already, you can step more into the spiritual aspect of it, the spiritual awareness of it. And if you're not and you want to call that in, hopefully knowing these things can help you fine tune yourself so that you can bring it in. And keep that S.E.X in your life, y'all. Keep shining, keep evolving, and do so exponentially. Oneness.